It's been a battle for the Penguins.
The Pittsburgh Penguins have won the 2016 Stanley Cup.
This has been a struggle for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The Pittsburgh Penguins have done it again, back to back.
You're talking about an extended run the wrong way for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
What's happened here? Since the Pittsburgh Penguins repeated as Stanley Cup champs in 2017, the trajectory of the franchise has gone from disappointing to disastrous. But how exactly did one of the most successful teams of the salary cap era fall off a cliff?
For the Penguins, they are running out of time.
This could be the final curtain call for this trio.
Father Time just eventually catches up to everybody.
For nearly 2 decades, the Pittsburgh Penguins were built around the core of Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang. But as that core aged, the direction of the club stayed the same. Recent GMs Ron Hextall and Kyle Dubas, they both tried to extend that core's competitive window, but instead, they have a roster that is currently the second oldest in the league, mired in mediocrity with no sign of hope on the horizon. Here's what Hextall did for the 2+ years that he was in charge. He brought in 30+-year-old Mikael Granlund, while both extending 37-year-old Jeff Carter and protecting him ahead of the Seattle expansion drafts, while 25-year-old and future 40-goal scorer Jared McCann was jettisoned. Meanwhile, when Dubas took over in 2023, he attempted to rectify the previous mistakes, shipping out Granlund, Jeff Petrie, and Jan Rutta in one fell swoop. But one mistake led to another, as 33-year-old Erik Karlsson came the other way, whose play has cratered since his acquisition. But while aging stars are a problem, an even larger issue is the cost of those stars.
They're trying to keep the window of contention open as long as possible.
You think of trying to work the numbers to keep this trio together.
When Fenway Sports Group took control of the Penguins franchise in 2022, they made sure that the legendary core of the Pens would stay intact. This season, the Big Three, aged between 37 and 38, take up $20.9 million, or 23.75% of the salary cap. Meanwhile, even worse than Karlsson's number on the ice is the cap number that he carries off the ice. The Pens are paying $10 million until 2027, more than Sid, Malkin, and Letang. In order to make room for Karlsson, Dubas had to trade Jeff Petrie and Riley Smith and still retain salary. And that's not the only contract with a question mark. How about Tristan Jarry, 5 years, almost $27 million? He's in the minors. Ryan Graves, 6 years, $27 million, 0 points this season, both signed by Dubas. Meanwhile, Hextall's fingerprints have also smudged the Pens' salary cap picture. How about Granlund at 5 million sheets for the cost of a second-round pick? The return on investments was 1 goal in 21 games before he was eventually dealt to make room for Karlsson. But the failures of both Hextall and Dubas extend beyond just salary cap management.
They've traded away a lot of first-round picks over the years.
This Pittsburgh team, they are facing big-time adversity.
When your team is all in every single year, you inevitably run short on draft capital. And when you're short on draft capital, you need to hit home runs with your limited supply. The Penguins haven't hit a home run, a triple, a double, a single. They can't even muster a hit by pitch. Since 2017, the Penguins have made 42 draft selections. Of those 42 picks, just 5 have played for the Pens. Those 5 have laced up for just 107 games. Last season, the Pens, for the first time in forever, took on a seller's role at the trade deadline. Despite requests from players to make a playoff push, Dubas went the other way, trading star forward Jake Gensel, and was only able to net a second-round pick in lower-end prospects.
The cost of winning is that when you're going to win, you got to trade young assets away. They have not been able to develop young players.
The Penguins' prospect pool isn't deep. Dive in and you're hitting concrete. Rutger McGroarty is, by general consensus, their highest-ranked prospect, and he's played only 3 games this season. Meanwhile, the first-round draft pick sent to San Jose as part of the Karlsson deal turned into Sam Dickinson, an OHL defenseman with 58 points in 35 games through January. Pittsburgh has made just 3 first-round picks since 2017. They've made just 8 picks within the first 2 rounds, both tied for fewest in the league over that span. The cupboard is bare. The lone key remaining pieces from the Pens' last title, Sid, Gino, and Tanger. However, now there's a notion that even Sidney Crosby, the face of the franchise for 20 years, may eventually depart in search of one final title, while the Penguins attempt to once again rebuild into a championship contender.